kind of a late start in here. Yeah, Amazon shows up, FedEx shows up. We got to put shit away that shows up. Looking at this, and I told her to go over it again. Knock the rest of the carbon out of there and make her real pretty. While she's doing that, I'm going to drop the lifters in. I probably got to clean them up first, because I don't think we didn't clean them up. That don't take too long. Maybe do that as I go. I don't know. We'll see. Best way to do those is a magnet to put them in, because I can't hit that whole way down there without it. Hey, it works now. I went to use it earlier. I knew it was getting a little dim. She was trying to shine down in the holes for me when I was putting the lifters back in, and cleaned up the front 3 sets and lubed and put them in. Then I cleaned up the back 3 sets, and I wasn't sure where I left off when I was back in there. And I had a headlight on, I could see, but that son of a bitch is back on. It's not torqued yet, but it is on. That was a pain in the ass. It's got a leading edge before it goes onto the shaft, and I didn't get that leading edge scraped off good. And this is honestly my biggest gripe about the 88 series tractors. The cabs are all right. I mean, for me, I set wrong in here. We've done a bunch of work to the seat in the last few years, and I can run it now and still get out of it and walk when I'm done. But the other thing is, I mean, it's great, especially mowing hay, really, for the most part, that it sucks the air from there and pushes it out the front. The issue is there is absolutely zero airflow over the engine. And compressors, they still need a little cooling, and there's no fan or anything on this pulley. It's just takes the airflow over the engine to keep those cool. So it eats those things up. And the other thing that needs airflow are alternators. And I don't think they're cleaned up too well. I guess I did clean it up a little bit, but is all that shit packed in there? Because alternators have their own fan, but the problem is whatever is here is going to suck right in, and it pushes it right through. This thing, that's just what it does. It packs the alternator full of shit. And usually by the time you get issues with the alternators, the shit's been in there too long, it's drawn moisture, and it's corroded everything. And the balancer's the same way. It packs in everywhere, even behind it. And I don't know if you all remember how much crap was packed in there. I mean, literally, we pulled the head off, and the shit, you can see the shit was up into here, packed in tight. If it had airflow over it, that stuff would blow on by, it wouldn't be there. So, and, even where it didn't get cleaned up down here. And it has been cleaned out before. Honest, I mean, a lot of that's from cleaning up here, but it just, I don't know. It's the biggest drawback as far as I'm concerned, because you got it enclosed, got the mufflers even underneath there, everything's hot, and no airflow. Oh yeah, and in relation to the alternator, the muffler sits right here. That's not too far away, and with no airflow around it, that doesn't help alternators either. They don't like hot. Anyway, that's enough of that gripe. Had to cheat. Luckily, I had 3 bolts long enough and not too long to pull the balancer in. I still got to torque it. Haven't torqued it yet. After lunch, we'll torque those, and I want to retorque the pan bolts. And then hopefully we'll put something there. then we can get it down and get valves done and that kind of thing, which takes a while. But in order to do valves, got to have that on here because that might be the pointer. Yep, that's the pointer, and right there is the graduations for your timing. And if you saw from the other side, there's a white mark. That white mark should be top dead center. That way you can see it. Because you do, if I remember right, I think you can do half of them at one point and half of them at the other point. But you gotta know where you're at. Look, less parts. That's still sitting there, part of the rods. Those bolts are for that. Ty's working on an issue. Not a good issue either.
Yeah, one almost had an issue.
That is the last head bolt besides the ones that hold the valve train in. I gotta clean the threads up on the end of it because apparently a chunk of carbon got down the hole. She's gotten 2 or 3 chunks out already that were in the threads. But she's trying to work that.
I'm struggling because it's all the way down there.
With a dental pick. And of course, she drops that. It's not you can get that out with a magnet.
I already dropped it once and saved my ass with the other dental pick.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Anyway, you see what I'm doing? I'm putting rods in. You ever see a monkey try to put a nut onto a tap?
I should go.
So, I was thinking I didn't have a tap. I forgot. I got a full set in the service truck. Can you tell? Can you tell? Because they all come out of here and end up down there. This half is all standard, and that up there's all metric. We even have some pipe caps right here. But I grabbed the first one I saw that looked right, and she grabbed the fine thread one, and I'm like, well, what the hell's in between then? It's a 9/16, but it's a bottom tap. So, I don't know what else is in here. Wait a minute. That one's a metric. Interesting. And, yeah, there's a 5/8.
It goes on this one.
Things are probably not where they belong.
It goes on that one.
Goes on the bottom tap, won't go on the other?
Will not go on this one.
Because you weren't getting lined up right on the first cutters, because the first cutters were in the wrong spot when you were trying. So, the only way I know we're going to do this is I'm going to have to weld a piece onto the tap and then hope to God it does not break. Yeah. Unless I happen to have, I might happen to have a square drive socket or a 12-point socket that'll fit the square. The thing that gets me on these things is every single tap has its own size square. They can't bother to make them a size. And I mean, obviously I'm not going to take one of these tap handles and get in there. And yeah, there's the other tap handle. There's no way that's going to get in there either.
I learned today that I'm not too short to grab that out.
Hey, she just learned she could reach that.
It was a challenge.
That one is in the wheel well box on the service truck, the one over the wheel well on the driver's side. In case anybody wants to know, if you think you're going to try to get it, well, we do still have Cleveland Security Company. Nothing gets past them, usually.
You have a bench seat above it in the rafters.
Yeah.
Birds decide to make a nest in the bottom of it. Well, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of bird though, because there's no way they could get into said nest that they made.
Interesting. And she's talking about nests. You know, she got a little clip of.
Right, watch out.
Almost run the doggy over. If Rainy doesn't get in my way, I'm going to trip. Little clip of a robin's nest. I just saw the robin fly off.
Oh, I should go check.
It is right about there on the wall on the house, behind the tree from here. And end of the machine shed on the far corner toward the trailer, where the beam sticks out under the eave. There's a robin's nest right there. So we got robin's nests everywhere close. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do something with this and make it work. Well, it took a little bit. It's a 3/8 12-point cheap Chinese quarter drive socket that was in my box. And of course the Hobo Freight quarter drive. And we're going to run this one through first. If I got to use the bottom tap, I'll use the bottom tap. And we'll find out real quick if this tap's goobered or not, because it could be the cutters are just all wrong on it. You know? We'll find out in a minute. But this is just about an inch longer than the bolt is. So I may regret this, I don't know. But it fits. It's in. I think I'll do this way. It's threading down. That's a plus. As long as my tape holds, it'll come back out too. Yeah, it's getting a little stiff. Right there. Right there is where she's done. Okay, I got that both hands, I think. Well, maybe I can do this with it. Yeah, feels a little rough. And really, I don't know what happened, because literally all we did coming apart was we broke every one loose and took them out by hand. Hope I'm not slipping in my... Yeah, I hope that wasn't slipping on the socket. If it was, I'm screwed. Anyway, that's how we're going to get into that, I hope. Found the bottom of the hole. Now I just got to get it to come out. So hey, yeah, hopefully here in a few minutes, have that bolt in. Wipe some more stuff down, there's shit on there. Those are the other head bolts that also hold the valve train on. And that is because that's a lift hole for pulling the head. And it's a loose fit ½ inch. I mean, there's a chance it might be metric. Some of the stuff on these tractors is metric, but I doubt that's metric. I think it's just a loose ½ inch because it was so full of shit. Ty had like 10 minutes cleaning that hole out enough we could put a bolt in it so we could pull the head off. And there's the other pull hole, which is, hey, oh, a 9/16, like all the head bolts. So, and that bolt actually holds a brace here and from here that comes up to support the air cleaner. So yeah, even though we're damn near done with the engine, once we're done with the engine, we've still got a half a day putting half the tractor back together before we can fire it. Gotta love it. But anyway, look at that. It's coming out so far. I could probably take the ratchet off. Do it without it, but yeah, a little easier this way. And I don't dare pull on it until I know I'm out of the threads. Which, yeah, I'm going to take that apart. That way I'll have a half a clue when I'm actually out of the threads. Well, focus. A little bit of shit. I know Ty got 2 or 3 chunks out with dental pick and crap. But we should be good now, I hope. And yeah, God knows where the shit's gonna go that comes out, but that's what oil filters are for, right? And There it is. I knew the bolt was here. I had to run a chaser up that, and it's already got a flatter thread on the end. Oh, goodness. But she ran a nut on it and it went up, so. Moment of truth right here. First time it went that far. And then goobered up, and she got that chunk out. Then the second time it stopped right there and would not go any further. And, uh-oh. Oh, hey, that's down. That's down tight. I thought it bound up, but it did not. That is down tight. These are all down finger tight. Every now and then I wiggle them a little more just to keep everything down good. So, now the monkey and the football are going to come back into play after I wipe stuff off. Because I gotta get this up there. And after it's up there and I drop the bolts in the holes, I'm going to back every single one of those off at least a half a turn. If anybody doesn't know why, I will tell you. If these are too tight, this goes on the valve, rocker on, or the push rod's on here. If those are too tight, when you tighten these down, you bend every single push rod. Well, at least half of them probably. But all I'm gonna do is wipe that off. I mean, it's not like it's dirty. Just from sitting here mainly, because all the oil and crap is drained off onto the table. Really nothing left there, but wipe it down with a paper towel and put on. Looky there, she's got a head. And it's partially torqued down. First two torque sequences are done. And unfortunately, my half-inch torque wrench, see, first time around is 110, you do 155, and then it's 165. I know, you can't hardly read that. I have a hard time too. The very top number is 150. So at 155, I get by a half a turn on the handle beyond that. And it might get to 160, but I don't think she's going to do 165. So, we break out the 3/4 drive. Problem I'm going to have with the 3/4 drive is, with the adapter and short socket, that's pretty much the same length as that, I think. Close enough. Bigger head though. One bolt is underneath the cleaner side of that turbo. Yeah, that one's sticking right up there in the middle of the screen. With the half-inch, I had to use a short socket. Don't know how that's going to work out. But I'm going to see if I got enough lead in my ass to get it. And I know this one probably ain't right on anymore. This one at 150 was clicking when this one was at 155. And they're going to click different anyway. Even the same one going over it will be a little bit different. But we're close enough. But now I got to go 165 and see if I have any intestines left when I'm done. Putting her nightgown on, put her to bed for the night. She'll lay a couple things up there to keep that on there. Keep shit from getting on it. And honest, must be the first time I've used a 3/4 drive. I think Dad and I went in and got that after we did this thing the last time. But there is a cheater way. And I'm going to show it to you. When I get enough stuff out of my way that I can, I use these wheelchairs, so it's the cinematic stuff. I just glide through the shop. I just have to remember where it should be in here. Yep. Right there. That's an old T-handle. Welded. And yeah, it's got the 1/4x1 on there for a reason. Welded a rope socket on there. And welded the piss out of it. Unlike we use T-handles. That is 12 inches, center to center. So when you're dealing with foot-pounds, doesn't matter if it's a click type or the old spring type. It's measured from here out is when this thing is supposed to pop. So you add a foot to that. Let's just say we had to do 300 foot-pounds. We know this goes to 150, and that's just about its max. Set this to 150, put it on there. When it clicks, you're at 300 at the other end. So, something for you to think about if you don't have it and you need it. And I really hate to tell you how many times this sucker's been used and abused, and honestly can't tell you. I mean, I want to say I put this together probably 20 years ago. Was a pretty good one too, the old PNC. But say we don't use those anyway. The only way they get used is you slip a piece of pipe over it and then you bend a bar anyway. So that's it for the day, and she's an idiot. Becky orders stuff from Costco and it gets delivered in big boxes. Oh, she got 2 of those deals of paper towels, and I don't know how many toilet papers she got.
That was the second. Yeah.
So we got 3 boxes of shit today. So anyway. Oh yeah, I got for my air conditioning stuff when I was working on Brooks pickup. I thought, well, I'll see what kind of temperature I got her since I didn't finish everything. And I have a nice little digital thermometer you slip in to the yeah.
To your vent?
To the duct, yeah, the vent. And hell, I acquired it. Had some work done on a tractor 15, 20 years ago, and tractor sat in the corner of the field for a couple weeks. Same guy come out and worked on a couple other tractors. Actually, I think he came back out and worked on something else on that one. I didn't notice it. It was like 2-3 months later. What the hell is up in the vent? Well, by then, he was no longer working for the company he was working for. I don't know where he went. So, I got me a new one. It worked better than my old one. The old ones I was using didn't last very long. But anyway, as far as I know, it had the original battery in it, and it was finally dead. So, I ordered batteries on Amazon. A 4-pack was cheaper than going to the store and buying a 1-pack. Anyway, that's enough gabbing. I'm satisfied with how far we got on here today. I still have to torque the harmonic balancer bolts. That one we may just wrap a belt or something around there to hold it. We'll see, because engine might hold it back now. I don't know. And I still want to go over the pan bolts before we're done. Just because, hey, I was surprised what they were supposed to be torqued to, and we got it at the low end of that. Maybe that'll help alleviate a few little seeps. So, hope you all had a great Saturday. Hope everybody has a good Sunday. And in case you're wondering, weathermen lied again. I don't know how hot it is out there, but I think it's warmer out there than it is in here. And last I looked in here, it was 86 degrees. So. But tomorrow we're only supposed to be 72, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. And, yeah, they're jailbird. Whiskers. You dumbass. I didn't tell you to go behind me. What are you doing, bud? To say hello? Yeah, he gets out to go down and have dinner. He just hadn't been put away yet. He's already had his dinner. He'll go back in for a little bit. But, yeah, he gets out all night. Why? Because he's the one that knows when the coyotes are around. He's the one that goes out and yells at them. That, I don't think that's going to bother the gentleman from Animal Control. He said when he went by, he says, it's not like I'm going to drive by with binoculars to see if he's out in the yard. So, hey, if you're watching, yep, he's in the shop right now. He's going to go back to his pen here in about 5 minutes. He'll get let out, probably just before dark. We don't have to worry about anybody coming in the driveway that late. If they do, they might get met with something else anyway. So, all right, I'm done.